Hello everyone, I am Dr. Durdana Oways from Department of Economics, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences, and today's agenda for this video lecture is Say's Law of Market. In this video lecture, we will be studying the who, when, what, how and why of Say's Law of Market. So let's start with the first question, that is, who gave this law? It was given by John Baptiste Say, a liberal French economist who stood in favor of competition, free trade and letting business do what they want to do without any restrictions. Doesn't that sound similar? Of course, it talks about the philosophy of Adam Smith, that is the policy of laissez-faire. That is because J.B. Say was greatly inspired by Adam Smith and was a strong supporter of Adam Smith's idea of a free market economy. Adam Smith's idea became well known in France and across Europe because of J.B. Say. His law of markets has been a matter of faith among traditional economists. So when was this law of market propounded? It was in 19th century, year 1803, when J.B. Say wrote about how markets work. So how does Say's law of market work? In his book, J.B. Say had put forward the idea that supply creates its own demand and that economic players must first produce goods and services before they can buy them on the market. In short, that is, the inputs that are used in the production process generates money income in the form of wages, interest and profits. When people have income, they want to consume more goods and services. That is, unless and until they have income, they won't be demanding more goods and services, and to have income they have to render their services. That is, the inputs used in the production generates money income. The income is spent on purchasing the goods that are produced and the expenditure creates demand. As such, it implies that supply creates its own demand. So, what does the law exactly states? Well, the law states that the ability to purchase something depends upon the ability to produce and thereby generate income. J.B. Say has reasoned that to have the means to buy, a person must have produced something. Thus, the sources of demand is production and not money. As such, Say's law implies that production is the key to economic growth and prosperity, and the government policy should encourage and not control production. In his own words, J.B. Say had put it that it is the production which creates market for goods. A product is no sooner created than it from that instance affords a market for products to the full extent of its own value, and nothing is more favorable to the demand of one product than the supply of another. Let's re-study the sentence carefully. It is the production which creates market for goods. How does it create the market? The law states that when a product is made, it requires the services of factors of production like land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. These factors of production render their factor services. For their factor services, they get factor payments. With this factor payments, they are able to demand goods and services for consumption. How much they can consume depends upon how much they have earned, and how much they have earned depends upon how much they have produced. As such, the demand for goods will be equal to the full value of goods that are produced. According to him, nothing is more favorable to an economy other than the production, because the availability of things and services leads to its own demand. The money people make from their work is used to buy things and services made by others. For the economy as a whole, this means that the total income is equal to total output. The output that is produced is the source of income for the individuals. This output is due to the supply of goods and services rendered, and the income that is received becomes the basis for demand for goods and services. And since the production derives the ability to demand goods and services, as such, the law says the production comes first and demand follows, and the wealth is created from production. Now, you must all be thinking, why should we study the law of market? Why? Because Say's law of market is the core of the classical theory of output and employment. It is considered as a key pillar to classical theory. It also gives a glimpse of what were the thought process existing at that time. As such, the law implies that there will be proper utilization of resources, of idle resources, because the more that is produced, the more will be demanded. This will further help in producing more and more goods and also generate income. It implies that the idle resources of the economy will get utilized to boost production, lead to higher income as well as economic development. Moreover, if there is optimum utilization of resources in the economy, it will lead to higher production. Higher production will lead to more demand, where excess of production will not be possible. Secondly, because no overproduction will be possible, there is no problem of unemployment, because it is seen that whenever there is overproduction, only then the workforce is reduced to ensure lesser production of goods and services. If there is no overproduction, it means that there exists full employment in the economy. According to Say's law, there is full employment in the economy. It is because of the reason that increased production means increase in employment, and production continues to grow until full employment is reached. In such a condition, production will always be maximum. Moreover, if there is overproduction or unemployment, it will only be for a short duration. Short duration because the self-adjusting mechanism exists in the economy. According to Say's law, this self-adjusting mechanism brings up the equilibrium in different markets. That is, the invisible market forces will take care of the labor market, money market as well as the commodity market. That is, the law signifies the automatic economic system where government intervention is absent. And when government intervention is absent and the economy will regulate itself, any inequilibrium will only be for a short duration of time. That is, in the long run, the economy will adjust itself. Next is the neutral role of money that is implied by Say's law. If we analyze, this law is based on barter system where goods are exchanged for goods, and money is just a medium of exchange. It does not affect the production process. As such, the role of money is neutral. Last, according to the law, wage cuts create full employment in the economy. This law assumes that wage cuts helps to restore the full employment in the economy by reducing production cost and price level and increasing demand for goods. That is, if there is inequilibrium in the economy, wage cut helps to bring economy back on the track. If there is general overproduction in the economy, then some laborers may be asked to leave their job. There may be a problem of unemployment in the economy for some time, but in the long run, the economy will automatically tend towards full employment. Therefore, there cannot be general overproduction and the problem of unemployment in the economy. So, in this video lecture, we have learned who had given this law, when was this law given, what does the law exactly says, how does supply creates its own demand, and why we have to study Say's law of market. That was all for this video lecture. Keep learning, keep growing. Thank you.